A very good morning to you, the 17th of May. It's Monday. It's a fresh start to the week. It is a beautiful day. It is not raining from where I'm coming from. That means probably the traffic will not be as bad this morning, but I am just here to wish you an amazing, amazing day, an amazing week as well, and welcome to Full Circle with Mikali. We have an amazing show lined up for you, Yanni, and we're still in the mood for Mother's Day. So it ended up being a whole week last week, and we still have some sleepover giveaways today for all the moms out there, especially if you are a nursing mom. Then we have something for you. So stick around to just find out how you can walk away with some amazing goodies if you are a nursing mom. Okay, so that is lined up for you. We will have a conversation with Dr. Wale Akinyemi. You know how we do every single Monday morning. We start a conversation that spills over all the way till Wednesday. We'll be looking at the political scene in this country. So many things have happened last week, over the last couple of weeks. So we'll be looking into that later on in the show. We'll also be talking to Eve Gaia of Two New Bakeries, and she'll be talking to us about some lactation cookies. So you just need to find out how that goes, because that is the one thing that we're giving away. We'll also be talking to Zia Betches, an amazing mom, entrepreneur. She is a celebrity wife, you know, all of that put together. She's a fitness enthusiast. So these conversations are here for you. But first, let's take a look at the quote of the day. So today's quote says, "For me, Monday represents a fresh start to the week. It is the day where the slate from the previous week is wiped clean. It is the day of new beginnings." And this is from Alan Smith. He says, "For me, Monday represents a fresh start to the week. It is the day where the slate from the previous week is wiped clean. It is the day for new beginnings." Just take this, own it, embrace it, and let it just be your kind of day. So fresh start. It doesn't matter how crappy last week was. You can change that today and the rest of the days that are coming on into the week. But let's get to the very first conversation of the day. It's time for Advice Circle. Well, last week we were talking about you and self-image and how the things you say to yourself matter and how you think about yourself and how that can be contagious. So that conversation went on throughout the week with Dr. Wale Akinyemi, and this week we just take this conversation a bit further. Are you okay to things changing around you? What do you do about it? Do you just conform? Do you just chill? Or do you just move with the times? Dr. Wale Akinyemi, good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you
How
doing?
are you?
Oh, well, I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm very, very good. I'm now a father-in-law. My son got married on Saturday.
Oh, congratulations, Wale.
Imagine.
It's like that. You're getting old, but in a good way. We wish them all the best.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened to my invite, but it's okay. It's okay. Forgiven, forgotten, ready to start the week, new, clean slate.
The invite probably got lost in transit because of coronavirus.
I
I don't know.
totally get it. It's fine. It's fine. And you know, Wale, are we going to
All right.
investigate that, or do we get into the topic of the day?
Yes. We talk of being change compliant. I watched a movie with my daughter some years ago. And in the movie, there was an emperor who had asked someone to build a palace for him. But the palace was to be built with chocolate. And it was truly grand palace they were going to build. However, the emperor did not take one thing into consideration. They started building the palace when the weather was cool. But when the weather changed and the sun began to shine, it became intensely hot and the entire palace melted. And the emperor was homeless. In fact, that movie inspired me to write a book titled Help, My Chocolate is Melting. You see, everywhere I look, I still see emperors in business, in different areas, where they are saying the same thing. Their empires are melting right under them. You know, why? Because you see, when conditions change and you do not change, you will become a victim. And that is so important. Um, so many people, conditions around have changed, but they are okay. I mean, like a good example, there was a time in my life when I was a bachelor. And when I was a bachelor, I was a very good, successful bachelor and did what bachelors did. You know, then I got married. Now, if I conduct my marriage with the mentality of a bachelor, then there will be wahala, big trouble. All right. It's the same. People want to live in the new with the mentality of the old. And that is what messes them up. So there are two kinds of people, those who are victims of melted chocolate, or those who realize the chocolate has melted, so let's start making cocoa. We can make cocoa from the melted chocolate. There are those who are wiped out by the change, and there are those who will benefit from the change. I picked up my phone the other day and I was going on a walk with Taiwo, my wife, and just talking about how many gadgets were wiped out because of the phone I was holding. You know, we would have had to go out with a camera, a cassette player, a pulse reader, uh, something to measure how many steps you are walking. Then a big mobile phone, even, when mobile phones came there. I mean, so many gadgets fused into one. Now, my question, what happened to the people working in the industries that were creating those gadgets? We, in our church, where I come from, well, we attended the cathedral, and the cathedral was raising money to buy a pipe organ. And it was big, it was massive, the fund drive, everybody got involved. And when we launched the pipe organ, the governor came to launch the pipe organ. Just a few years later, you go to a music shop, you buy a keyboard, and it has a button called pipe organ. And you press it and connect it to the speakers, and boom, pipe organ sounds fills the place. The typewriter became obsolete, you know? Whereas when I was growing up, the typewriter, then there's a sound, then you go, then carbon paper, when you're typing, you put carbon paper in between and all that. These are the, big things. Then I remember, and this is where a lot of people say, Wale, you are such old school. We had a radiogram. It was like a big, long box, and it had only one radio station. It was an AM station. Now when you switched it on, you had to wait for it to warm up. Now, believe it or not, if you had a radiogram in your house those days, you were doing very well. That was the music, that was the Apple music of the day. Now, so change is happening everywhere, and not just at the corporate level, at the individual level. Even words, the meaning of words have changed. Mukali, can you believe that when I was younger, the word gay meant very happy?
Yep.
Now, can you imagine somewhere today and say, oh, what a lovely day, I'm feeling so gay? Some people are offended by that statement. So the point I'm making, there is change happening everywhere, and the ability to ride the waves of change is not determined by how old you are, by how educated you are, It's a function of how flexible you are as a person. And flexibility is a function of confidence, which is why we dealt with self-image before coming to change. Because if you are not ready to swim against the obvious, you will be blown out. Everybody is going in a particular direction. When change comes, those who initially ride the waves of change will be criticized. They will be the odd ones out. If you are not ready at that point to be misunderstood, you will never be celebrated. Life will be boring without change. Think of it. And God wired us to appreciate change. Every sunrise is different. Every sunset is different. We appreciate that change when we see it. Why? I mean, we have different seasons. 1 minute it's raining. 1 minute it's not raining. 1 minute we complain it's too hot. The next minute we complain it's too cold. So life itself was programmed for change, and we were put in a world where there's so much change happening around us that I believe God wanted to do that to prepare us. So in this introduction is to just let everybody know that if you are not flexible, if you are not open to change, you will soon become a fossil. Remember that that everything you see in the museum was once celebrated as a new innovation. The difference is things changed and moved on. And like I've always said, the Stone Age did not end because the world ran out of stones. So tomorrow, I'm going to take you into the practicality of how to develop a change compliant mind and how to have change compliant thinking. That is the only way you are going to stay relevant and you are going to stay in touch. All right.
Right.
Thank you.
Wale, thank you so much for that. When you're talking about how things change, I remember the very first time I ever interacted with material from you. I was a little girl, and you had music on a tape cassette that had lyrics inside there. So you moving from that and now transitioning to continue doing what you're doing, but find other ways to still pass on the message, but still be relevant while doing it.
Absolutely. Because, you know, the message, I keep telling people, there are people who have been listening to me for 30 years, and they will testify, they will tell you, Wale's message has never changed. It's the platforms that change. It's the expressions that change. My message is transforming Africa one mind at a time. That message hasn't changed. Whatever I do, it is to get people to think different. But don't get fixated on a method. Don't get fixated with a platform. Once you see new truth, embrace it. And even the message, the core of it has not changed. But you find out that as I am learning every day, I am, the quality and the way I'm presenting it is changing. As people continue to learn, life will continue to teach. Now, the people who are change compliant, who become the champions going forward, one thing I noticed about them, and I'm getting into what I want to do later, is they are always learning, always learning. You find those people who feel, you know what, this is it. This is how we have always done it. This is how we will do it. And with such people, we have too many examples. They never last. They never last. So we need to move from an idealistic position to a pragmatic position. The idealistic position says, this is the way. It's either we do it this way or nothing. But the pragmatic position says, I understand that this is the way, but this is what we want to achieve. So can we try this other way? That is what the pragmatic mindset does. Let me wrap up by saying I was teaching one of my classes with leaders, and I asked them, should a leader be consistent? And they said, absolutely. Then I asked again, should the leader be flexible? And they said, yes. So there was now a conflict. How are you consistent and flexible? And it's very simple. Concerning the end result, we are consistent. Concerning the process, we're flexible. We are always changing. And I think when we adapt that, we will stay relevant. It doesn't matter how many years you are there, you will stay relevant. Some of my friends, my children, have amazing friends. And there have been times when their friends tell them that, oh, we're coming to your house. But we're not coming to see you. We're coming to hang out with your dad. They've become my friends. Why? Even if, and this is one thing that I have learned, if you allow your mind to age, your body will age faster.
True.
Never allow your mind to age. Constantly renew your mind.
Wale, you're such a blessing every single morning. You mentioned your book earlier. Please let us know where people can get it as well and your social media handles.
Just contact Nuria Books. They are the guys that are distributing my books all over this country. And you may want to, this is Beyond Intelligence, because I talk a lot about change there also. And my social media, Twitter is at Wale Akinyemi, Instagram, Real Wale Akinyemi, and Facebook, The Street University.
Much, Wale. Can't wait to continue this conversation with you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thank you.
A very short commercial break. We will be right back. This is Full Circle with Mwikali.